Darts, brought to you by Bad vs. Evil here at the beautiful Wardrobe Theatre. I'm Andrew Kingston.
And I'm Harry Humberstone. Yes, tonight marks the grand final of a spectacular event where three titans of the darts world battle it out in the darts.
Tonight, we'll see the winner of Thursday, Friday and Saturday night's heats battle it out across some of the most intense darts action as our competitors face some of the most grueling and intense darts mini-games.
We'll crown a victor tonight for the grand final of the darts, where they battle it out for this spectacular cup and the chance to win a cash prize of £35.
Yes, the Caney Cup. What an incredible trophy and a huge cash prize of £35, which our players will surely be desperate to get their hands on. But what lengths will they be prepared to go to? Well, let's find out as we meet tonight's grand finalists. First up, it's the winner of Thursday night's heat, Lindsay Hardboiled Garwood.
Hello.
Lindsay Hardboiled Garwood, feeling confident from your first round victory?
Yeah, well, it just worked out exactly how I wanted it, really. The strategy, missing the board entirely at the beginning to make my competitor feel at ease and then annihilating them in the final seconds. So we'll see what I've got up my sleeve tonight.
Yes, you truly did annihilate Malcolm Hamilton, who went home livid and disappointed.
Yeah.
What have you been doing to prepare for the grand final?
Well, a little bit of meditation, a little bit of eating Doritos, getting ready psychologically.
Well, I hope that all comes together for you tonight in the grand final of the darts.
Thank you, Lindsay. Now let's welcome our second competitor. It was the winner of Friday night's sensational heat. Yes, it's John Legally Blonde Lomas.
Here he is. Welcome, John Legally Blonde Lomas. How are you feeling about tonight?
Quite confident. I'm doing it for the fans. Looking forward to, doing darts for the fans.
Looking strong against Jasmine Red Fury Lovies in the first heat. What have you been doing to prepare yourself for the grand final of the darts?
I've been making chili jam. A man who can make chili jam can hit a treble 20.
Well, you're hot to trot in the kitchen at home. Hopefully you'll be hot to trot here tonight in the grand final of the darts.
Thank you, John Legally Blonde Lomas. And now, let's meet our third and final competitor who won last night's heat, defeating Jen Sweet and Sour Bell. It is, of course, the man, the legend, Mike Alien vs. Predator Akers.
Welcome, Mike Alien vs. Predator Akers.
Thank you.
Excellent heat last night. Feeling confident from that?
It took a lot out of me, to be honest with you. It was intense, and I've had to do a lot of lying down today.
What did it take out of you?
It took several of my internal organs, and also, my kind of belief in myself. So I've not got a great hope for tonight, but I'm going to do my best.
Hopefully you can claw back that belief in yourself. What have you been doing to prepare for the grand final of the darts?
I've been working hard not to put my tongue out as much when I'm concentrating on throwing the darts, because apparently I do that a lot, which I hadn't realised until I saw someone who watched my
Moistening the air, perhaps a slight COVID risk. Good to keep that at bay.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Well, good luck tonight in the grand final of the darts.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And Mike there pointing out, of course, Harry, it's a valid point that he's not had as much rest in between heats as Legally Blonde and Hardboiled. Do you think that'll come into play in tonight's The Darts?
Could be a factor tonight, but he's well known for sleeping in well past midday, so hopefully not a factor for him here tonight.
Yes, well, let's not waste any more time. Let's find out what condition these competitors are in as we play tonight's first game, a specially adapted version of dueling darts. In dueling darts, players throw 3 darts in turn and record a score. Each player has their turn. At the end of that go, the player with the highest score will score 10 points to their overall leaderboard. The player in second place will score 5 points, and the player in third place will score 0 points. The game is timed. At the end of the time, all the points will be added to the leaderboard, and we'll see what that does to tonight's standing. Without further ado, let's play Dueling Darts. Lindsay Hardboiled Garwood to throw first.
Yes, here she comes, Lindsay. The pressure of the final really mounting now.
Lindsay, please call out your score.
I think 3.
Thank you.
pressure is, of course, mass divided over area.
Lindsay, you've scored 13, and please keep the profanities to a minimum. That's your first profanity warning. John, Legally Blonde, Lomas to throw second. This is the order they'll throw in for the rest of this game.
Here he is now stepping, put a lot of pressure on the floor, of course. Ex-wrestler, Legally Blonde, loosening his weightlifting belt to allow for greater finesse.
Legally
at the
Blonde
darts
Lomas
board.
seemingly really enjoying the theatre of the darts, Harry.
Theatre of the darts literally happening in a theatre, so it's very apt.
2.
Feel free to
7.
inspect the board
Very
more
good.
closely to confirm your scores.
3.
Which means you've scored 12, John, which is behind Lindsay. Lindsay, you're guaranteed some points here. Mike, can you beat
Lindsay
13?
takes an early lead.
12.
Looking good.
12.
Oh, just barely staying in there.
Should I throw the
Yes, please do. Yes, why not? For posterity.
9.
9. So, after the first throws, Mike has scored 33 and receives 10 points. Lindsay receives 5 points with her score of 13. No points for Lomas. Lindsay, please step up to the oche.
Come on, Lindsay.
Lindsay, one of our more vocal darts
Nothing.
players.
Lindsay's
16.
a one-woman fan club for herself.
Lindsay, you've scored
Hasn't got anyone
18.
in supporting her tonight, but maybe that will not affect her overall score.
Can Legally Blonde get his first points on the board?
20.
He certainly can with a single dart.
Treble 1.
Massive 3.
0.
Lomas, you're guaranteed 5 points. Can Akers take yet another 10? You need 23 or more.
Akers, of course, last
24.
night was struggling with a lot of inner rage, throwing crisps all over the steps, starting fights with profanities towards the other players.
Well, that is another 10 points for Mike Akers, who scored 35. That puts him on to 20 points. John Lomas gets his first points on the board, scoring 23, beating Lindsay. Lindsay, step up.
Elegant first round there from Akers, known for his style, his throwing, much more like a ballerina than a darts player, but it really comes into practice.
Nothing.
Garwood going for power over accuracy.
Double 4. 20.
Decent score, 28. Legally Blonde to step up. Tension building, excellent music work.
7.
In the grand final, Legally Blonde choosing to cover his blonde locks with a Christmas hat.
2.
Which means that Lindsay Garwood is guaranteed more points. John, you scored only 9. Poor start from Legally Blonde.
0. 0. 11.
Okay, bear with me. I've deleted your name from my cheat sheet. That's no good. Right, so with that score, Lindsay 28 gets 10 more points and moves on to 15. Just wait a second, Lindsay. I just need to update the scoreboard. Mike scoring 5 more points, moves on to 25. No score for John. He remains on 5 points. Lindsay, you may throw when ready.
Limbering up, standing a few inches behind the oche to make things slightly harder for herself. Oh, she seems to have heard my commentary and she's moved in closer.
That's a good dart.
Not sure. 10, I think.
Confirm it when you get closer. It's
Okay.
not a problem.
Treble 2.
Gorgeous darts hitting the board there.
2 and a treble 9.
Treble 9 being 27. Lindsay, you've scored an impressive 35.
Almost immaculate darts there, much like the conception of our Lord, baby Jesus Christ.
7. 19. 16.
John, you're guaranteed points with 42. Harry, how long left on the clock?
3 minutes.
Good.
I don't know whether I should say anything or not.
Here we go. It's a classic Akers tactic.
But the treble 9 was in reality a treble 6.
Thank you for that correction, which means Lindsay moves on to...
I didn't want to say anything.
No.
This happened last night.
yeah,
Listen.
This happened last night.
Just a moment of calm here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we must respect the integrity of the darts. Nothing else in life matters. The darts are definitive, and the scores must be respected. So, Lindsay, you actually scored 26. John, 42. Mike, you need to beat either of those to get some points.
For those of you stressed about the time, I've paused the timer while that point discrepancy was going on. Don't worry, we haven't missed out on any darts.
12, 9, and 18 is 39, which means John scores 10 more points and moves on to 15. Mike Akers scores 5, moves on to 30. And sadly, no change for Lindsay.
Come on, Howard.
Very close start in tonight's grand final of the darts. Good first start.
15. Nothing.
It's a 0.
8.
8, a decent 23. In previous rounds, that has been enough for a few points. Here comes Legally Blonde.
19.
With his characteristic attractive stance, leaning in towards the board, using his natural height to give himself an advantage.
17, which means you've scored 36, which guarantees you some points from this round. Can Akers improve upon that and extend his lead?
Akers lofting it in with an uber proficient kind of stance.
That's another 20. 5.
Can we confirm that that was a 20?
Yes, it was 20.
Mike takes 45, wins this round, which puts him onto onto 40 points. John moves on to 20 points. Lindsay remains on 15.
Andy, of course, tonight having to input the scores of 3 players. It's a masterclass in scoring and commentary and darts.
And typing accuracy.
1. 5, I think. 14.
14, not bad from Lindsay, scoring an even 20.
Lindsay beginning to absolutely twat the darts at the board there. Absolutely no respect for a
Really
darts
should have
board.
called her the pulverizer.
First
one
one,
there showing no respect for the floor.
rattling out of the wire.
Your 2 darts, please, John.
19 and 8.
19 and 8, which is 27. Sadly, no points yet for Lindsay Garwood. Guaranteed points for John, but what will Mike do?
19 and 8 are 2 numbers, of course, entirely different to the number 4.
0.
Double 15, which is 30. So that means that Mike takes another 10 points. John takes another 5.
Approaching the last 10 seconds here.
So this will
10,
be the final go if
9,
Lindsay throws a dart.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Nothing.
2, 1. That's the end of dueling
No, Harry. I must correct you there. We are very clear that you started, so we'll finish, so that every player is allowed the same number of goes. The darts
17.
must be respected. Thank you, Harry.
Incredibly sorry to all the listeners there.
26
Getting a
for
little
Lindsay.
bit carried away with the timer and shouting the name of the game in an amusing, high-pitched voice.
Your scores, please, John.
16, 17 and treble 1.
A strong 36 to beat for more points, Mike, or 26 for second place in this game.
0. 1.
It's going to be hard to do.
20.
20. So, Mike, you scored 21, which means 5 more points for Lindsay, 10 more points for Legally Blonde Lomas, and now that is the end of Dueling Darts. Well, what's that done to the overall scoreboards? Let's have a quick look here now. We can see that currently in first place with 50 points is Mike Alien versus Predator Akers. Just behind on 35 points, John Legally Blonde Lomas. And in third place, but still within touching distance, is Lindsay Hardboiled Garwood. Now, Harry, should we move on to our second game of the night?
Yes, the second game is 3-way darts. 3 competitors tonight, all aiming for just the number 3. Doubles and triples do count, so you can get a 3, a double 3, 6, or a triple 3, 9. Points will be accumulated with each go. Without further ado, let's play 3-way darts.
Lindsay, as you're in third place, you will throw first. All the points will be added to your score at the end of the game. Harry, start the clock.
And take it away.
Nothing.
Of course, 3-way darts here is played between 3 people, but it will not be a 3-way in the sexual sense.
Nothing
here, it's all about darts.
Nothing for nearly in this game. You must hit the threes. Yes, John, as you're in second, you throw next.
Dusting off his hand on his weightlifting belt there. Darts, of course, very light. Perhaps a little too light for his strong, muscular arms.
0.
Strong start from Lomas, accumulating 9 points. Here comes tonight's current leader, Mike. Alien versus Predator Akers.
Double free.
You'd think the leading position might have calmed him down, but you can see the rage still starting to filter into his eyes there.
AVP
Let's hope he doesn't tape it out on any more crisps.
AVP matching Lomas stride for stride, Harry. It's looking pretty close so far.
Incredibly close.
3, but maybe not.
Close like the atmosphere in a muggy train garage.
No, it's 17.
Unfortunately there, Lindsay, no more points, showing incredible aggression at the board. Perhaps a little more finesse might do the trick.
Tension's starting to mount between the three players. Let's hope it doesn't spill out into bloody violence.
0 score.
No more points for Legally Blonde. What can Akers do for his total? Currently sitting on 9.
Of course, he's not literally sitting on 9. He's sitting on a chair just to the side, which is next to his rider of 2 ales and some crisps.
3 more points. Up steps hard-boiled Garwood.
Come on, lucky 3.
Tonight we have 2 non-drinkers taking on a drinker, Mike Akers, classically drinking down Doombar and Pedigree, whilst the other 2 drink H2O, water.
Just short of the mark there from Garwood, but the gap is still not too big. Only 12 points scored by the leader, 9 from Legally Blonde.
It's a small gap at the moment, like the branch of gap you might get in a small market town, not like the Oxford Street version.
That 3 from Lomas moves him on to 12. AVP also on 12. Can he extend his lead?
Yes, he
Can.
could do with one of those extended leads like dogs have.
Is that just in?
No.
Honesty there from Akers. Not something we usually associate with him, but there you go.
Garwood
Here
looking a
comes-
little bit more relaxed on her approach there, loosening her sparkly jumper, but still
really-
throwing with incredible aggression.
What do you make of that technique, Harry? Garwood really using the whole propulsion of the body.
It's clear she's been working on some new techniques in the timeout. She knows she's up against some of the highest caliber of darts here at the grand final of the darts, and she's been working on darts like there's no darts tomorrow.
0 scored from Lomas. Harry, how long left on the clock?
3 minutes and 45 seconds.
So we're approaching the halfway point of 3-way darts. Still plenty of points to score.
Halfway point, of course, being 3 minutes 30 seconds, as it's a 7-minute round.
A single 3 from Akers.
Here's more darts. That's a dart. That's a dart. And another dart.
So close.
Legally Blonde Lomas there providing encouragement for his competitor. Harry, in all your years of commentating on darts, have you ever heard anything like it?
Well, despite his quite provocative stance, he's actually one of the friendliest players. He's known for it. He sometimes will take a Christmas hamper round out of season, say in July or June.
Yes, he truly is a generous competitor. And a treble 3, that's sensational 3-way darts. That puts John's total to 21, which would close the gap on the leader, Alien versus Predator.
Akers here, the tallest of the 3 competitors, allows him to reach forward and, in some ways, cheat.
Now here comes Garwood, the elusive 3. Can she claim her first 3-way of the night?
No.
Sadly not. This proving the nemesis of Garwood so far.
It's
Here's
her way or the 3-way.
Lomas, who last year apparently instructed several underprivileged darts players in his superb skills. Sharing the darts love, he moves on to 24. Lomas wearing the Steve Austin wrestling t-shirt tonight.
Akers now, of course, he's started a charity for homeless tortoises, which is a tax evasion, clearly because tortoises carry their homes around on their little backs.
Quite big backs, really.
course, size
Yes? Is it a 3? So close. Hard-boiled. Unfortunately, no more points.
Such a shame that being close to 3 doesn't get you a score, but of course, that wouldn't be the game
We've
of
all,
three-way darts.
We've all been close to a 3-way in our time, Harry, but some of us just never quite get to fulfill it.
It's not the dream for some of us, Andy.
27 for Lomas. The gap between the top 2 is closing.
Approaching the final minute now.
We'll maintain our last go policy from the previous game.
I'll attempt not to get overexcited with a countdown.
Well, Harry, it's hard not to. It is, after all, the grand final of the darts.
What's not exciting about the grand final of the darts? I'm having to hold in a number 1 and a number 2 right now.
But not a number 3, and Lindsay again fails to score a 3. Here comes Legally Blonde.
Lomas now.
Sporting the Nike tracksuit bottoms tonight.
His shirt, resplendent, Stone Cold Austin, and on the back it says, "Got a problem with that?"
Here comes
Question
Akers.
mark.
Shout out to the Van Dyke crew in Fish Pond, supporting Mike Akers tonight from the comfort of a pub, presumably using the proprietary app provided by the pub to order their drinks in safety. 3 more points for Akers.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's
the end of three-way
end of
darts.
Lindsay's go. We'll complete the game with 1 more go for each player. And Lindsay Garwood, sadly, has failed to score any points in 3-way darts.
Yes, falling behind here on 3-way darts. Not her
Single
best
3.
round, but next we have a different game which she fared in very well in the first heat.
Here comes Akers on 21, chasing Lomas's 30.
Still not quite a strong start from Akers.
Well, that concludes 3-way darts, and I will now add the scores accumulated to the leaderboard. Sadly, a 0 for Lindsay, who remains on 20. 30 points for John Lomas, who propels himself to 65, and 24 points for Mike Akers, who moves on to 74. Harry, Feeding Frenzy Darts, our third game, could prove very, very interesting. It could still decide who goes home. That's right, we will lose a player after the next game in the grand final of the darts. There's no way around it. Harry, are you excited?
I'm incredibly excited. I'm not usually excited, but right now I'm incredibly, incredibly excited.
Harry, what are the players playing for tonight? Let's just give the audience a quick reminder.
It's important to remind ourselves the 3 players here tonight are playing it out for the Caney Cup and the chance to win a cash prize of £35.
Yes, the incredible Caney Cup. The players have battled hard through their heats for a chance in tonight's grand final. We can see that the pressure is really on. The scores are on a knife's edge. Without further ado, let's move into game 3. Harry, tell us all about it.
Feeding Frenzy Darts. Everything can really change in this game. It's a different game. It's a game called Feeding Frenzy Darts. Each player will get a minute to throw as many darts as they can. Run to the board, retrieve the 3 darts, return to the line by means of walking so as to be safe. Let's play
Feeding Frenzy Darts! Lindsay, as you are in third place, you will throw first. You will begin on the completion of Harry's countdown.
Which he'll do when he's just changed the length of the timer in his phone.
Stand by, Lindsay. Look, she's getting ready with the
Stand
stance.
by.
The leggings have been
3,
tightened.
2, 1.
Nothing. 16. 19.
Strong
35.
start from Garwood there.
1. Not sure. Nothing. Oh, that was whatever that one is. What's that? 7.
43.
Here we go. Nothing.
Speed is of the essence here. Can Garwood bring it back?
69.
Come on, go. 11. 20.
Of course, in the fictional film Speed,
105.
drop below 60 miles an hour or a bomb would go off. It's a real life scenario Garwood once found herself in.
3. Now.
117.
Bollocks. 20.
10,
19.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Lindsay, please confirm, Lindsay, what your final dart was.
A double 5.
Thank you. And with that, that brings your total score in Feeding Frenzy darts to 166. John, you're in second place. You get to throw next. Chasing, 166. Your countdown will begin very soon. Brace yourself.
In 3, 2, 1.
Scores, please. Just 11? Thank you.
Only an 11 at the start there. Uncharacteristically slow score for Legally Blonde.
60.
6, 20, 1.
87.
All business here. He's like a stockbroker on the New York stock market.
17, 6,
113.
20, 24, 4.
163.
No.
He's moving so fast, it's like Formula One or touring cars.
12 and triple 10.
Yeah. 20, 4.
266.
Storming ahead here. Mike Akers in the wings, starting to get incredibly angry. I've just seen him throw a few
Drop
crisps
double
over
two.
the stairs. The rage could be starting again. That's time!
John, please confirm, was it a double 2 or treble 2?
Treble 2 and a 6.
Which are both 6. So 2 more 6s. John, an impressive 307 points.
I think that might be a record for Feeding Frenzy darts there. Am I right, Andy?
Well, I'd have to do a lot of edit undo on the spreadsheet to verify that.
Just based on my own loose memory of the week's proceedings, I think that could be a record.
Yes, I could consult YouTube to find out. We will publish a full list of records for those The Darts enthusiasts at a later date. Without any further delay, though, Mike, Alien vs. Predator Akers, with a chance to win Feeding Frenzy darts, you must score 308. Your
Okay.
countdown begins soon.
And in 3, 2, 1.
5. Nothing. 18.
23.
11.
Now channeling his anger.
14.
60.
Intent on taking out a competitor here. He's always the most competitive of all competitors.
89.
8. 11. And 60.
124.
That's a 7. That's a 19. That's a double 7.
164.
Very clear, shouting out his numbers, helping Andy with his incredibly difficult job of putting the scores in whilst
214. You need 308.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
239.
3, 2, 1.
17, 5, and 12.
17, 12, and 12.
17, 12, and 12. Mike Akers, that means you scored 280 points. Lindsay Garwood, 166, and John, 307. Let's just update the scoreboards. Sadly, no points there for Lindsay Garwood. John Legally Blonde Lomas takes the full 50 points allocation for winning Feeding Frenzy darts. No points for Mike Akers, which means at the end of 2 rounds, John is in the lead on 115. Mike, Alien vs. Predator Akers, on 74 points in second place. And sadly, eliminated at this stage in third place after 3 games is Lindsay Hardboiled Garwood on 20 points. Lindsay, step up to the hockey, please, the interview position.
Lindsay, you must be incredibly disappointed there.
I'm really gutted, not to be getting the trophy, the £35. It's what I was going to buy my Christmas presents with. I feel I've let my family down, my friends, my country down. I used to like 3-ways, but I don't think I'll have one again.
I'm sorry to have ruined 3-ways for you, Lindsay. There'll always be 4-ways. How are you going to break it to your family when you get home, or do you think you might just skip the country?
I think the second option sounds preferable, to be honest.
Okay, well, no one could judge you for that. Sorry about tonight. Commiserations, and hopefully we'll see you next year at the darts.
See you next year.
Well, thank you, Lindsay. What a great competitor, Harry. She put up a hell of a fight.
She did put up a hell of a fight, Andy, yes. Luckily, it didn't spill over into actual physical violence, but there's still a long night to go yet.
There certainly is. We are now left with just 2 competitors. One of these great players will win the Caney Cup and £35. There's everything to play for, with John Legally Blonde Lomas ahead 115 to 74. Harry, let's move into our 4th game of the night.
That's right. This is a new game for the final. It's called the Final Count Darts. Each player will have to hit from 10 to 1 in a countdown-like motion. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Whichever player gets to 1 first will win 50 points. However, if they're on a tie at the end of the time, which is 7 minutes, we'll play a closer to ball. Let's play the Final Count Darts!
Mike, Alien vs Predator Acres, as you're in 2nd place, you have the privilege of throwing first. Well, Harry, what a final we're having so far. Incredible pressure on the players. There must be real hurricane of thoughts in their mind.
An absolute blizzard, Andy. Tornadoes. As we found out from the general knowledge in the first game, Britain actually has more tornadoes per size than any other country. Who'd have known?
Yes, indeed. An interesting fact. Well, Mike has moved on to 9 already with his first dart. Or his first set of darts. Lomas also sneaks one in.
Starting the timer late there after a first 20-second pause.
No.
Saying 9, a little bit like it sounded not like non.
Goodness me. John Lomas is already on to 7. That's his next required number in final count darts. Mike remains on 9.
Mike, his shirt purchased from a recent shopping trip with Gok Wan, I discovered when I was reading an interview with him in The Guardian last night.
Final count darts. We could not need anywhere near as much time. Our players are showing sensational form, both on 7.
Lomas taking time to read the
Lomas, you now
numbers
need
here.
the next number down being 6. He's done it. We might need to play 2 rounds of final count darts. Which is a possibility, of course. We are the masters of the darts. We can dictate the rules as we go.
We can. This is not a democracy. Andy and I very much dictate the rules to everyone else, and they will follow our every command.
Legally Blonde, you're halfway through the final countdown. You're on 5. Mike Akers on 6.
Akers has just heard the news about us dictating all the rules and is getting incredibly angry over in the wings there. He seems to have pulled out a Ouija board. Now he's just starting to apply
Did you hit the 5?
letters there.
Sorry, I
He's
was
been distracted from the Ouija board because it's his go.
put off by my co-commentator's comment about the occult and black arts. Dark arts, the arts. No score. Mike remains on 6. Lomas on 4.
Mike straight back over to the Ouija board there now. He seems to be spelling out some kind of word. His eyes do appear to be lighting up. I've always been quite cynical about this kind of thing, but it seems to be real.
John, you require the number 3 next. Mike, Alien vs Predator Acres, stumbling on 6. Perhaps his demonic chanting in the wings will bring him some luck.
One can only assume he's using the dark arts for victory.
He's done it. Shout out to all our Satanists watching tonight. Mike is your representative.
Mike now seems to be uplit from light shining out of the board. His face.
Lomas moves on to 2. He's done it. No doubt the power of the great Lucifer, who's brought Akers back into it, now on 3. John, the pressure's on.
Demons now swirling around the lighting rig. Akers, eyes lit up with fire in the back of them. He seems to be speaking in Latin tongues.
Lomas representing the forces of light and good. What can he do here? As he kisses the crucifix he bears around his neck. No score. Will Hellspawn himself, Mike Akers, edge towards the final countdown victory.
Very good at hiding the demonic look in his eyes when he steps up to the
You
oche.
require 3 next.
Very close final count darts here. Lomas not at all put off by the occult activities in the wings.
He's done it. Both players now on 2. Well, what a tense game. Harry, how long left on the clock? I'm sure Akers could stop it simply with the power of his mind.
3 minutes now left on the clock. Akers sending a demon over here to try and mess with my technology, but luckily I'm wearing garlic.
Oh, Lomas needs just the 1 to win the final count darts. Akers needs 2 and then 1. This game really has brought out the best and the worst in our competitors.
Starting very strong and then playing darts that could only really be described as shit.
Legally Blonde simply won to take the 50 points.
Go on, Legally Blonde!
Hardboiled
Akers.
Garwood getting involved there.
Akers seems to now be eating the Ouija board he was previously playing with. Perhaps it provides him with some kind of dark sustenance.
Dark Sustenance playing tonight at the Crew Megaplex in a socially distanced punk pop gig. Here's Akers.
You may have just heard that Steve Lamack took over on Andy's mic for a second there. He's one of the audience here tonight.
Thank you, Steve. Please return to your seat safely and stop getting in my way. Lomas, just the 1 needed. Either side, can he land it? Oh, just misses the mark. The game soon to reach its tense climax. Akers still needing the 2. He's got the 2. He's just missed out on the 1 by the narrowest of margins.
Keeping the pressure here, keeping the drama high. More dramatic than a full season run of Macbeth at the RSC.
Is it in? We'll need a closer inspection. Hawkeye.
It's a 1.
It's a 1! It's a 1, and Lomas, at the death, completes the final countdown and adds an impressive 50 points to his score. No points there for Mike Akers. That puts John Legally Blonde Lomas onto 165. Mike Akers in second place on 74.
So at this point in proceedings, it might be nice to have a little word with one of our competitors. Please welcome to the questioning podium, John Legally Blonde Lomas.
Our current leader, Legally Blonde Lomas, please step up to receive your polite interview questions.
John, how do you feel it's going so far here for you tonight?
Well, it's a very, very tough competition. Just got to keep believing, keep focusing, and darts will be the winner.
Sure. And a question from Jill in Leicester here. If you
Hi, Jill.
could be any bird, what bird would you be, and why?
Hi, Jill. I would be a hedge sparrow because hedges are fantastic places to learn to play darts. And I just feel that would help improve my game. And so if I do manage to get back next year, I'll be even better, even stronger, and I hope more competitive.
I couldn't agree more, John. Well, good luck here tonight in the grand final of the darts.
Thank you, Legally Blonde. So impressive how everything with Legally Blonde Lomas leads back to the darts there. Even the kind of bird that he would choose to be linked to his darts ability. Well, it's time now to move into our penultimate game of the night. Yes, the stakes are really rising here as we move into a fan favourite, Total Eclipse of the Darts. If you've been watching our previous nights, you know exactly how this works. For those that are new to the darts, here's a brief summary. Total Eclipse of the Darts. The last full solar eclipse in the UK was on the 11th of August 1999. 11/08/1999. To win Total Eclipse of the Darts, the players must complete this date by hitting the relevant numbers on the board. So 11 or 2 ones, a 0 and 8, 19 and 99, or 1 and 9 for 19. To score a 0, the players must hit any non-scoring part of the board, so the bit around the outside. Everything to play for here, so let's play Total Eclipse of the Darts. AVP Akers, you're in second place. You'll throw first. There are 50 points up for grabs here. to the winner, which could really help you close the gap going into our final game.
Please do begin. 0. Akers wiping off ectoplasm from his arms as he approaches the oche there. Slightly
With that, Mike Akers has already completed August. Now I can remove it from the list. Mike now needs just 11 and 1999.
Our own little hedge sparrow, John, Legally Blonde Lomas. Still in the lead, but a strong start from Akers, perhaps because of his demonic rituals in the wings.
Goodness me. Lomas, they're scoring the 11 and the 0 and the 8. Is that correct, John? Thank you for the confirmation. No argument from Akers, clearly showing that Lomas and Akers are agreeing to play sportingly. The 11? Thank you. Thank you. Bear with me, Legally Blonde. I just need to remove the decimal point. You did score the 0, didn't you? So that goes. Both players needing 1999. Step up, Legally Blonde.
Yes, this could be the shortest ever game of Total Eclipse of the Darts. But here's the grand final. We've only got top flight darts players now. Flight's, of course, the rear part of a dart.
It's so close to the 11, just outside, and then drifting into the 9. He'll claim that 9, which means that he's got the first or second part of 99, depending on which way you look at it.
This competition really is closer than a shave by Gillette.
He's got the 19. And a 9. Okay, a recap now. Mike Akers requires just a single 9. John, you require a 19 and a 9, or a 1 and 2 9s.
That's not going to distract John, Legally Blonde Lomas, those blonde locks hidden behind his Christmas hat.
Just wide of the mark again. That's the 19. We have a really dramatic finish here. Both players requiring just a single 9 to take the 50 points in Total Eclipse of the Darts.
3 darts for a 9 though now. Oh, it's tense stuff.
Missed it, Akers. He needed those points, surely.
More tense than an athlete that hasn't had a massage all season.
Just the 9 needed for Lomas. He's done it. He's done it. And with that, Lomas scores all of the Total Eclipse of the Darts and adds another 50 points to his total, putting him on 215. Mike Akers way behind now on 74, but it could all change. Harry, let's hear from Mike, Alien versus Predator Akers now at this stage of the game.
Mike, Alien versus Predator Akers. Now you've finished with your demonic Ouija board rituals. How do you feel this final is going for you?
It's not going according to plan, I think.
And what was that plan?
Well, the plan was to win easily, and I'm not winning.
So
it's not really working
a
out.
little tip from an old pro: if you hit the numbers you're aiming for, you'll win a lot quicker.
Yeah. I think I may have spent too long on the Ouija board rather than the dart board.
Of course, yeah. Well, a little question from Beth in Swindon.
My hometown.
Really?
Yes.
Ah, well, there you go. They've asked you where you're going next weekend.
Well, I'm probably related to Beth, so I will say that I'm just staying in Bristol because
It's a bit creepy that she asked.
Yes,
Yeah, I did think
exactly,
that, but I just had to pick the top question on my list there.
Yeah.
Well, good luck here in the final of the darts. Mike, Alien versus Predator Akers.
Thank you, Mike. He's a good sport, isn't he, Harry? We make a lot of jokes about him, the demonic rituals, etc., the Ouija boards, and that he's from Swindon. And, of course, it's all mostly jest. He's not really from Swindon. Right.
That's right, Andy.
Harry, it's time we move into what will be our decisive game of the night. I cannot believe we're here already at the grand final of the darts. What a competition it's been so far.
Yes, most of you that have been tuning in all week will know the final round is mega points darts. Each player will throw 3 darts at the board. They will then answer a general knowledge question. If they get that general knowledge question right, the points on the board are added to their total. Now, for one final time in the grand final of the darts, let's play Mega Points Darts.
Mike, as you're behind, you step up first, and while you're preparing for your first go, Harry will prepare the Caney Cup, which won't be too long before it's presented to our champion. Mike, You may now begin throwing your darts. So, Mike, for 26 points, which would put you onto an even 100 overall, here is your question.
Mike, what nut is used to make marzipan?
I believe it's the almond.
Correct.
That's correct. That's 26 points to your total, closing the gap on Lomas to 115 points. Here is your throw, John.
16.
For 18 points, John, here's your question.
John Legally Blonde Lomas. How many elements are in the periodic table?
124.
118, I'm afraid. Very close, though. Good guess.
Just short there. There are no more points for Lomas, so the gap remains at 115. Mike, you have 4 goes remaining.
20. May I check that?
Yes, you may. Please do.
5.
Thank you.
And another 5.
And another 5. Mike, you're 115 points behind. Here's your question for 30 more points.
Mike, what is Sweden's capital city?
Stockholm.
Correct.
That's correct. So that moves you on to 56 points scored from Mega Points darts. 130 now against John's 215. The gap, 85. Your scores, please, Lomas.
11-7-4.
For 22 points, here is your question.
John, what's the name of Saturn's largest moon?
Titan.
Correct.
That's correct. 22 points for Lomas. The difference now 107. Mike, your third scoring opportunity.
12. 8. 0.
Oh dear, that could prove costly, but for 20 points and a chance to close the gap, here's your question.
Mike, in chemistry, what chemical does O represent?
Oxygen.
Correct.
That's correct. 20 more points for Akers, keeping it interesting. 237 plays 150. Lomas, you still have a comfortable 87-point advantage.
11. Something. 25, 11, 16.
Decent darts. 52 points. This would give you a commanding lead. Here's your question.
John, in Switzerland, how many cantons is it made up of?
Might want to repeat that question, Harry, for the benefit of the listeners.
How many cantons is Switzerland made up of?
Cantons.
Areas or districts.
Thank you for my benefit.
12.
It's actually 26.
Just falling short there. The 52 points come and go. So the competition remains pretty close at 87-point difference. All achievable with 3 darts.
Treble 16.
Treble 16.
19.
19.
17.
17. Okay, bear with me. Treble 16. That'd be 48, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, the room. Thank you. No. Mike, for 84 points, which would seriously close the gap, give you a massive chance of winning. Here's your question.
In Britain, there are 3 big coffee brands. Costa, Starbucks, and what's their other main competitor?
Costa. It's clearly not that.
No, that's one of the ones I said.
He's doing that
It's
thing
Costa,
he did last night. where
Starbucks, and there's one other.
He's asking you instead of giving an answer. This will
Yes,
not
answers
stand,
please,
Akers.
not questions.
So crucial, this question.
We talk about chains of cafes.
We
I was
are.
pretty adamant
Yeah.
in the question.
Yeah. Cafe Nero.
Correct.
Goodness me, Cafe Nero. Okay, let's pause there. John, you were on 237. Mike, 234. There are just 3 points in it. John, this is your 4th go. You've got another go after this. Mike has only 1 remaining. Your scores, please, John.
17, 17 and 7.
That is a pretty decent total of 41. Here's your question.
John, Legally Blonde Lomas. Who is the only musician to have been awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature?
I believe that's Mr. Robert Dylan.
Correct.
That is correct. Well, let me add those points. Okay. Mike Akers, this is your final throw in the final of the darts. You're currently facing John Lomas on 278. You're on 234. Quick bit of maths tells me that you need 34 points or more to catch Lomas. You must score bigger than that, though, to put some pressure on Legally Blonde going into his final go.
19.
Good start.
Treble 19.
Goodness me, that would be worth 57. Another one?
Treble 19.
You are joking. Right. We could not have asked for more drama than this. Mike, if you get this right, I don't know if Legally Blonde Lomas has got it in him. For 133 megapoints points, here is your question.
Mike. Alien versus Predator. Akers. In the final of the darts. What's the name of Kim Kardashian's first child?
They're screaming it at the Van Dyke, where the Akers clan are assembled.
Is she married to Kanye West?
Again, answering with a question.
We're not going to help you at all, so questions are irrelevant.
You must get this right, otherwise it is game over.
I think is either south or north.
Let's have an answer.
I think it's north.
Is that your answer?
North.
Northwest is the answer.
Is that correct, Harry?
It is correct.
Unbelievable darts! I do not believe it with that. What an answer from Akers. Well, that puts him onto 367. John, you're on 278. It's your go to throw next. This is the final throw in the final ever the darts. The first ever the darts final.
First ever of the final of the
Can
darts.
Legally Blonde do it? He needs a
So
colossal
much
score.
pressure mounting here. Of course, even after the score, there's still the obstacle of the general knowledge question.
Your scores, please, John.
5, 3, treble 12.
Now, that would give you 44, which is not enough to surpass Akers' total. Let's have your question anyway for posterity to record your score.
John Legally Blonde Lomas. Sorry about this, but we'll ask you it anyway. Right. What is the largest muscle in the human body?
It's what I am. An ass.
I'll let you have it. It's the gluteus maximus or buttocks.
For 44 points, putting your final Mega Points darts total and total leader score to 322, which means Mike Akers, with a sensational final 133-point Mega Point dart, takes the grand final of the darts with a total of 367 and is tonight's winner. Unbelievable darts. Well, Let's hear it for our second place tonight, John Legally
please,
Blonde
please
Lomas.
step up. We just want to hear how you feel right now.
Please, Legally Blonde, step forward. You can see just in front of you the Caney Cup. So near yet so far. You had it in the bag right until the death. Where did it go wrong?
It's been a privilege to come this far, to get to the final. I never thought I would. You know, I've never done darts before. And to learn along the way, I've learned so much about myself. And I'll never stop playing darts now. It's part of me, yeah?
You've been an incredible competitor this year at the grand final of the darts. Will you be joining us next year?
Hey, look, if you have me back, I'd love to be there. And just remember, darts will always be the winner. Darts will always be there in my heart.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Legally Blonde. What a gracious player in defeat there.
And just an incredible ambassador for the darts.
Absolutely. No prizes for second place, but I'm sure we would all love to see Legally Blonde back. Put your teeth back in, Kingston, for next year's The Darts. But now, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. It's the winner's interview with Mike, Alien versus Predator Akers. Mike.
Please, Mike, come and collect your socially distant trophy and cash prize, of course, of £35.
Yes, the Caney Cup and the cash now in your hands. Mike, how are you feeling?
Well, I'm on top of the world. I can't deny it. You know, the Caney Cup is something I've dreamt about since I was, you know, a lad back in Swindon in the Penhill area, and you know, it's so fantastic to have finally got my hands on it.
What do you think you're going to be spending your prize money on, Mike?
Well, first of all, I'm going to get it cleaned, so that will probably cost about between £10 and £15. And
sure.
You know, after that, a very, very small bottle of champagne, which might fit if I can get the lid off.
We should remind you the cash and the trophy were sprayed with Sani spray before the grand final tonight, so don't waste any of your winnings on sanitizer. It's all perfectly safe.
Mike,
I feel very safe.
I have to ask, those 2 treble 19s in that final go, is that a deliberate tactic? Or what was going through your mind?
It was almost like, you know, some sort of spirit was acting through me. I mean, who knows, good or bad? It's difficult to say, but certainly, for that moment, it was almost like, you know, the darts were controlling me rather than me controlling the darts.
Absolutely. Well, on that freaky note, we must ask you, Mike, will you be back next year to defend your Caney Cup trophy?
If invited, I would be delighted to step back and defend the trophy, certainly, yeah.
We'll be welcome to have you, Mike.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, unbelievable action. What an incredible week of the darts it has been. We've been so privileged to bring you this sensational darts action as we see Mike, Alien versus Predator Akers, crowned as the first ever The Darts champion.
Yes, and commiserations to Lindsay Hardboiled Garwood and John Legally Blonde Lomas. I hope you'll all join us next year for more scintillating darts action in The Darts.
Yes, join us next year, please, for more drama,
more finesse,
more intrigue,
more darts
in
The Darts.